My focus will be on strategy to transform Ghana's economy through the 24-hour economy program and how we can deal with our enclave economy. And as a member of the Committee for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of the Ninth Parliament, I also look at how we can leverage the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement for sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, in the landmark case of Tufo versus Attorney General, Justice Sowa, who was the Chief Justice at the time, delivered a historic judgment that reinforced the supremacy of our Constitution. In fact, he stated, and I quote, "The Constitution has a spirit, and its language must therefore be considered as if it were a living organism capable of growth and development." Mr. Speaker, the aforesaid statement by Justice Sowa applies to the 2025 budget. In fact, it must not be seen as mere figures, but as a living blueprint with a spirit or even a soul. It carries the hopes of struggling Ghanaian families, the dreams of young entrepreneurs, and the fate of critical national policies and programs. If this budget is implemented with sincerity, it has the ability to breathe life into the economy that they put on life support. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, we declared a trade surplus of 44.7 billion. Out of the 44.7 billion, we exported about 294 billion and a total import of 250.2 billion. Ghana recorded this trade surplus. However, I agree with those who say our economy is an enclave economy because most of our resources is coming from raw materials which we export without adding value. And the President, in his wisdom, has seen that we exported about 162 billion, representing about 55.3% of our total exports in gold to foreign countries. We exported about 52.58 billion in crude. We exported raw cocoa beans about 21.55 billion. And Mr. Speaker, this did not impact our economy that much because we just exported it. All the companies exporting are foreign owned and they keep the money in foreign banks and foreign institutions. And that is why most of the mining communities are underdeveloped or poor. And this is why if you look at the budget for 2025, at page 54, it says that what it implies is that the government will implement a 24-hour economy to boost industrial production, trade, and jobs. If you summarize page 33 and 34, what it says is that the focus will be on reducing imports by encouraging local manufacturing of essential products, and key sectors include agro-processing, pharmaceutical, and textiles to improve Ghana's self-sufficiency. If you look at page 55, it says that Ghana will establish a gold board to ensure that we are refining our gold instead of taking it out in raw. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the year 2024, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the year 2024, we exported about 40% of the 11.6 billion to the United Arab Emirates in raw gold. We didn't add value and we didn't make more out of it. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, the question our colleagues on the other side should be asking is that if we are employing more to produce more, where is the market? Mr. Speaker, the question our colleagues on the other side must be asking is that if we are going to employ more to produce more, where is the market? Because our economy is not big enough to absorb all that we are going to produce. And the answer is with them because in 2018, on the 10th of May, Ghana and Kenya were the first countries to ratify the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. And so they shouldn't be looking at Ghana only, we should be looking outside Ghana because the agreement allows us to produce here and take to other countries duty-free. Mr. Speaker, the population of China is 1.4 billion. The population of Africa is 1.4 billion, but the GDP of Africa is 3.4 trillion, and the GDP of China is 17 trillion. And what is worse is that the population of EU is about 449 million, but their GDP is about 20 trillion because they are adding value, they are employing many people. Thank you very much.
Today I want to highlight 3 key social intervention programs that continue to make a difference in the lives of many Ghanaians. The Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, LEAP, the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, and the School Feeding Program. Mr. Speaker, presently, this government has taken bold steps to uplift the most vulnerable among us, the elderly, orphans, and persons with disabilities, by expanding the LEAP program. The number of beneficiary households will rise from 350,000 to 400,000, and the funding will increase by an impressive 30.8%. This isn't just about numbers. It's about ensuring that those who need help the most receive meaningful support. I believe the government is not merely offering relief, but restoring dignity and security to those at risk of economic hardship. Mr. Speaker, 740 households in Asante Achim North benefit from the LEAP program. The 30.8% increase in benefits and expansion to 400,000 households by July 2025 shows that this government's dedication to lifting the vulnerable out of poverty is at at its prime. Mr. Speaker, the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, is getting a major boost with 9.93 billion Ghana cedis in funding, thanks to the uncapping of the National Health Insurance Levy. This translates into better access to essential medicines, vaccines, and healthcare services. Even more impactful is the rollout of free primary health care, ensuring that basic medical care comes at no cost to the most vulnerable. No Ghanaian should have to choose between putting food on the table and seeking medical care. This intervention makes sure they don't. Mr. Speaker, feeding our children well is not a luxury. It's a necessity. That is why the school feeding program budget has been increased by 33% from 1.344 billion Ghana cedis to 1.788 billion Ghana cedis. More significantly, the per child meal cost has risen from 1 cedi 50 pesos to 2 Ghana cedis. A long overdue adjustment that will enhance meal quality, encourage school attendance, and ease the financial strain on parents. Hungry children cannot learn, and a nation that neglects its children's nutrition mortgages its future. Mr. Speaker, in my constituency, 16,189 students benefit from the school feeding program. The 33% increase in funding, 1.788 billion Ghana cedis in 2025, will ensure healthier meals. And my constituents are grateful for this commitment to our children's well-being.